So you guys have already reviewed chapter 15, right? Like you guys already like know
Yeah,
everything
we've
that's going.
already read it and talked about it a bit, but we always have
Okay.
endless topics, so it's never like too late.
So I just kept thinking about the fact that Boruto is dying. I was like, dang, I should have known that because they were kind of hinting at that throughout part one of like towards the end. I would say like of the part one of Boruto
What are you
because
referring to
right.
specifically, sorry?
So I would say around chapters 66 all the way to chapter, I would say 79, 80. Right after the intense fight between Boruto and Kawaki, like I would say the second or the first fight, I would say, of the series
Mm-hmm.
of part one, because the very few times that Boruto had fought, like all the way in the beginning, that was fought Kawaki was mainly during sparring sessions and everything. But when they actually had their real major intense fight, the very first one, that was when Boruto took those Byakugan suppression pills, and it was nothing more than just a stopgap measure until Momoshiki took over his body, went on a
Let's
rampage. You guys already
go.
know what happened. So
Oodie, that's not the stopgap measure I heard you just saying. I knew you were happy to hear that word, but Immortal did it properly, unlike you.
So, right after Boruto had died and Momoshiki used the last remaining bits of the Karma Seal's data to revive Boruto. I don't know whether or not Momoshiki anticipated or knew what was going to happen when he revives Boruto, but in chapter, I would say, let me skip all the way to chapter 75. When it seems like he was kind of like, okay, what's going on here? Why am I able to hear his thoughts and how is it that he's able to hear minds? And then we saw that right afterwards, after they confirmed the existence of Shibai and everything else, Boruto was able to see what Momoshiki was able to see. And
Real quick
yeah,
about that whole thing, I'm gonna double check right now just to make sure I'm not wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Can we just all collectively agree that okay, I'm gonna say something makes no sense and then explain how it already made sense before they made it made no sense. So can
yeah.
we just agree that it makes absolutely no sense the reason they gave why their thoughts are crossing over? His reason is because he rewrote the karma into Boruto's data. Their thoughts should have just been crossing over anyway because Boruto's getting overwritten. like, like it would have just worked, but then they gave this reason that makes because that what he did is just make less Momoshiki in there. Like he should be crossing over less, if anything, not more.
But
That makes
you know what?
sense.
That could make it towards where that was just a special scenario. Maybe
Well, I mean,
that was.
his reasoning is that from having supplemented some of your damaged flesh with my data, no, it just you got rid of part of you in favor of that doesn't do anything. It should have already been happening just because he was 80% Momoshiki.
Hey, at least Momoshiki can't resurrect, but he can still hijack his consciousness. That's
Yeah.
that kind of
But anyway,
sucks for
continue.
Momoshiki. Anyways, so okay, I'm gonna skip back a few chapters. I think chapter 68, Boruto had confirmed that now he's able to control Momoshiki's powers a lot better.
Which also
I know I'm
makes
kind of
sense.
skipping. Yeah, I'm kind of like skipping in between because I think I kind of, messed up on my thoughts. But the whole point I'm trying to get at here is that they were kind of, I feel like they were kind of hinting at this because even in chapter 72, Momoshiki has mentioned that at some given point Boruto's going to end up despairing. He's going to shove his consciousness. He's going to shove Boruto's soul or whatever in the corner of his own consciousness in his own psyche. And there was just a lot of death flags that were kind of just being thrown and hinted at. Chapter 75 was kind of just like, I think they were trying to work towards that because their consciousness being linked together. I should have known that this was basically Momoshiki actually and Boruto becoming one. But at the same time, chapter 15 kind of told us that Boruto is dying. So I don't know whether or not if it's them I don't know if it's them becoming one, and the other is like one part of them is dying. It's a little confusing. Not because we know Boruto is dying and Momoshiki is taking over. Because the last time Boruto used the Karma Seal, and I would say the time skip, that was during the confrontation between Code and his Claw Grimes and Sasuke trying to, buy Boruto some time to escape. And then chapter 15 kind of told us that, during that confrontation, Boruto had activated his Karma Seal, but for the very first time in I would say a year or 3 years. I don't know. I think that was like a year. If I'm not mistaken, that was a year before he met Kashin Koji. And while he was on the run from everyone, including the Sand Village. If I'm not mistaken, that was a year, right?
We don't know the exact time frames, but Code, I think said I'll have to double check. It's either it had been 2 years since Sasuke versus Code to the chapter 1 of the time skip, or 1 year between those. Because there's a 3-year time skip, but there was 2 years. It's either Code was looking for Boruto for 2 years after the first encounter, or he was looking for Boruto for 2 years and then 1 more year after that. I can't remember which.
Yeah, because I think when Koda came back, he was saying that he was kind of looking for Boruto for, I believe, 2 years.
That's what I thought he said. Actually, I think it was one. Let me just look real quick.
I think this was in chapter. This was in chapter 1.
Yeah,
but yeah. So pretty much when the last time Boruto had activated his Karma Seal, he felt like he was dying. That Momoshiki was.
He was chasing after him for almost 2 years now. So that means he only trained first with Sasuke for a year and had 2 years with Koji, probably.
Yeah. So I think I was right. So within that year, the very first time he had activated this Karma Seal within like a year, Boruto felt like he was dying. As in, the things that Momoshiki was saying in chapter 72 was actually coming into fruition. So ever since then, Boruto's just never once used the Karma Seal. And even in chapter 9, he avoided using the Karma Seal because of that exact reason. He felt like he was dying. And Momoshiki's just been silent since that time. So Momo is just planning on Boruto's downfall. He's not gonna say anything to Boruto. He's just gonna wait until the very moment that he's forced to use the Karma Seal, that Boruto is just gonna either be shoved into a corner of his consciousness or he's just gonna die. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but
I will say about the dying thing, he's not necessarily. He says it feels like he's dying.
He feels like he's dying.
Conscious, so it's some feeling thing. But he also says it's something similar to when he was possessed by Momoshiki. Boruto's never described it as feeling like dying before, which makes it seem different. But it doesn't make any sense for it to be. He's over here saying, "Oh, it felt just like when Momoshiki takes over. It's like I was dying." I think he just never said the dying part in the past, but it's kind of a retcon. But like ignoring that, it's like I think that's just how it always felt. So when Momoshiki does this thing, Boruto's gonna feel like he's dying, even though he's not dying.
Kamui, the way around this is there's 2 ways around it. The first way is because it's 2 blue vortex. It's recap for the new people. And the second way around it, which sort of goes with that first way, is this is Ikimoto's first time actually all on his own describing it. And so this is how it would have been if Ikimoto was writing it all along.
That's actually a fair point, because all the other times he's described it, Kodachi was still there. So, yeah. That's a good argument.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Ikimoto blender.
True.
Little retcon, you'll love it.
It's a little. The reason why I say it was a little confusing is because they're probably gonna have it's because I don't understand. Like, is Boruto actually dying, or is it just like,
It's a weird way to phrase it regardless, because I feel like the point with like feeling like you're dying would be that you're falling unconscious. but he's actively saying he's still aware and conscious, as in he knows everything that's happening. So it's like just being numb, like sleep paralysis. It's more like that. It's not dying. Dying's just the wrong word. We should look at the raws and see if that's what they say. Hold on, let me actually look for that.
Well, even Kawaki was like, "You're deteriorating," as if he's like
disintegrating is what one of the translations.
Oh, disintegrating, deteriorating. It's just another way of saying, Boruto, you're crumbling. You're falling apart. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I can get the raws for this.
I trust the unofficial
let me go on to
translations
Fizz.
better. No, I don't trust Fizz at all.
Yeah, the website I normally do hasn't done chapter 14 or 15 in the raw. I don't know if there's any left. Maybe, wait, this might have it. Let's see. No, the fuck. It got updated. Why do they do that? Why do they say spoilers in raw chapter 15 and then update it to the fucking biz? Just have another thing for the fucking biz.
Yeah.
So stupid. Anyway, I don't remember what the other translation said for that.
Would it be on stream?
Let's
It'd be
see if...
very nitpicky to go find it. That's not the right word, but
Yeah, I'm gonna try and see if did I close out of this tab already? Oh wait, actually. Okay, hold on. I can look at the other translation at least.
No, he didn't say
okay, the better translator says it felt like I was dying even though I was still conscious, so 2 out of the... in fact, I think the other one said the same thing anyway, so I think all of them say dying.
I mean, obviously, he can't literally die. Like, if its physical body dies, Momoshiki dies.
Oh, okay.
So it's just the feeling.
Exactly, so it doesn't make
okay, so
like,
it says
mental thing.
Started dying while still conscious and aware. Okay. That's interesting. Started dying while still conscious and aware.
I mean, the point is that it's contradictory, but it is contradictory. It's like a feeling where I stopped being who I am and started dying while still conscious and aware. Like, the point is, he felt like he was just not him, and instead was watching someone else take over his body. In other words, to make things way more simple, it felt like Momoshiki was in control.
Yeah,
which is full control.
Four Tails. It felt like I lost control of my body. It's
lost
the
sight
dying
of
thing is unnecessarily.
That's an unnecessary.
Analogy.
That's basically just consistent with how Boruto described it previously.
Yeah.
So you can just see everything that Momoshiki does.
I think this might just be a recap for the new, like the Two Blue Vortex recap of what it's supposed to feel like.
So,
but the dumb thing is Kawaki's reaction. He's acting like he's never heard this before. Like, what?
Like, you're dying?
Well, my thing is that I don't think Momoshiki took over 2 years ago in the code fight. So...
No, he didn't.
That's what Boruto's making it sound like. Boruto's making it sound like, rather than Momoshiki taking over, it's kind of like when Naruto just was in the Four Tail state, and it's kind of more mindless, like a mindless karma state.
My interpretation was that
otherwise, it's just, why is he being so?
My interpretation is that that's how it felt like he was going to be, not that he actually got to that point. So I'm guessing he activated his karma seal, which is what he's getting at anyways. And that if he kept it activated, then Momoshiki was going to take over, and he was feeling that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit weird. Do you think that this time Momo will actually have full control over Boruto's body, and Boruto won't be able to regain consciousness, no matter what?
Well, they're not gonna do that. He's gonna regain consciousness somehow, whether it's himself or through someone else.
But I think I don't think himself is able to take his consciousness back anymore. I think if that happens, it's going to be permanent until someone else snaps him out of it.
Yeah, however they do it. which would be cool. But
that's it. I think what happened in the code fight is the same thing that happened in the Kawaki fight from chapter 9. Is that's the same sensation he was having in the Kawaki fight, is my guess.
Yeah. The only thing that's annoying though is it's like based off of end of part 1, Momoshiki should be able to just activate karma when Boruto's awake. He's done it before.
Yeah.
It's like, if that's all it takes, he should just be doing it at all times. Like they should have like a seal on the karma, like the curse mark seal or something to try to like prevent that. Like they haven't addressed any of that, obviously.
Well, I think it's probably different. I think Momoshiki was only able to do that when Boruto was actually feeling like a sense of despair. Like he
wasn't, no. He said it himself. He never once thought he lost everything.
Yeah.
I think that was more so
either Boruto's lying or
just doesn't
Momoshiki can just do it.
Well, I think Momoshiki was one who said that. Either, I don't know.
Momoshiki said Boruto would despair. Then Boruto at the end of chapter 80 said, "Just so you know, I never once thought of this as losing everything, and I'm not sad."
That's how you ended the time skip, so you feel like it's pretty important going into it.
Okay. I feel like I'm at an impasse right now.
Taking the stupid Byakugan suppressing pills.
That reminds me. Is that still? I wonder if Mato still has more of those in his lab.
I don't see why not. He had like 50,000 in that jar. Boruto only took like 3.
No, he took 1, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought he just took like a handful, but either way, the point is he had a whole ass jar, and the code arc happens in like a day, and but he just stopped taking them. Didn't last very long.
Well, I don't think he wants to go back to Amado anytime soon, especially when he's with Kashin Koji.
Well, yeah, now it would make sense.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in the prophecy arc, I wish he was still taking the pills. Because we've already talked about this, but in the Ishiki arc, Boruto's like talking to Sasuke, Momoshiki took over me, and I'm scared of what might happen to my friends if this happens again. And then Sasuke's like, okay, if that happens, I'll kill you. Boruto felt relieved by that. Then you get to the code arc, it happens again. He told Kawaki to kill him if it happens, and then Kawaki does it. And then he gets revived. Oh, sweet. I managed to get lucky here. And he's just talking on. He's like, for some reason, I just have this feeling I can control Momoshiki's power better now. Why? I don't know. I mean, it's not like Momoshiki just took over willy-nilly in the middle of the code fight, right? But he thinks he can control it. He thinks he deserves to live, but just because he can control it now. And then he can't. And then you get the time skip where apparently it's worse than ever before. And he's like, Kawaki, if I ever lose control, you kill me. Just like the Ishiki and code arcs again. So what's up with the prophecy arc philosophy? Like, see, here's the thing. Boruto's mindset now makes sense. You can't kill me already because there's things I need to do. I need to take care of these Shinju Kawaki. Then you can kill me. That makes sense. But in the prophecy arc, that's not on Boruto's mind. If he just said, Kawaki, we need to kill Code first, then you can kill me, that's fine. He's not saying that. He just doesn't want to die.
Yeah, now that you say that, there's a few more things with this that don't make any sense. Him asking, or him saying to Kawaki that if Momoshiki takes control, you can just kill me immediately. No, that's not true on 3 different fronts. First of all, you yourself are actively trying to stop Momoshiki from taking control. You would just have like this insurance of like, it's okay if Momoshiki takes control because I'll have someone there to kill me. Just like that was what Sasuke's role was before he turned into a tree. Yeah, obviously Boruto doesn't want to turn into Momoshiki, but like he can feel that relief there. That's why he was able to sleep in the first place, I think, at one point. Another thing is you can't be disgusted in Kawaki's weakness. Like, oh, it's pathetic, Kawaki. I've been training in the past 2 years. Have you? Oh, you can't even stand to me at all. Get out of here. Like, But then, kill me if I turn into Momoshiki, though, Kawaki. Yeah, you can do that, because you're strong, right?
If he gets some amount of upgrades. But here's the thing, though. Honestly...
But he's saying that about right now.
So Boruto's words to Kawaki in Chapter 9 had weight before we found out Kawaki was limited. Because it's like, even though Boruto had his cheat code training, he did train his ass off and out-train Kawaki. And so he could talk down. But now it's like, bro is limited, bro. Like, why are you shitting on him so hard? Like, you got a cheat code Kashin Koji.
And why didn't you tell him back then that he was limited?
Now that I think of...
Wait. Limited. What are you shitting on him for? You're such a hypocrite, you fucking asshole.
Now that I think about it, he did learn all this information from Kashin Koji.
Exactly.
I was like, dang, wow.
It's like, bro's just being a dick for no reason to Kawaki. It's like, bro, like, what do you want him to do? Like, yeah, he could have trained harder, sure. But fucking Amato limited his power, apparently. So, like, the hell?
He needs...
Maybe so mean.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like... I mean, it ain't like Kawaki didn't do the same thing to Boruto in the past, or even up until this point. But then again, I think it's like them trading blows.
But then there's a third aspect of this, which doesn't make sense for both Two Blue Vortex as it is, as an inconsistency just in this series alone, and as a retcon to Naruto Next Generation. What do you mean, if I turn into Momoshiki, kill me immediately? That's not how you've been acting. When you were about to turn into Momoshiki in Two Blue Vortex in Chapter 9, you just flew away from Kawaki. In the Code Arc, you didn't do that. You're like, I barely have control, Kawaki, quick, kill me while I'm still conscious. You didn't do that here. It's like, were you running away from the guy that you want to kill you from? But then that makes no sense with the Prophecy Arc as well, where he's basically doing the same thing. It just doesn't make any sense. The Code Arc was the only time where it made sense. After that, it just doesn't make sense, even though they're trying to make it consistent.
So you think Boruto was afraid? Even afraid of, like, Kawaki killing him?
He's not afraid of dying. He wasn't afraid of dying since the Ishiki arc, which is why it made sense in the Code arc.
Okay.
He tried to off himself in the Ishiki
fairness,
arc.
As far as Chapter 9 goes, he says, once they're gone, and once the Shinju are gone, if I lose it and run amok, go ahead and kill me. So in Chapter 9, A, the Shinju weren't gone, and B, he didn't lose it because he saved himself in time. So I think it's justified there. It's like, if these two things happen, then you can kill me.
Okay, that is context, I'll give you that.
The whole prophecy arc nonsense.
Because, that's another thing, is that Boruto knows he cannot die until the Shinju are gone. So it's like, I want to see that happen then. I need Borushiki to be taken over before the Shinju are defeated, specifically for Boruto's reaction. How does Boruto handle that?
Yeah.
What about Code, though? Because he's also going to try to do his best to kill Boruto and Kawaki. And he wants the Chakra Fruit to become
just
a
Boruto.
new...
Boruto and Koji.
Just Boruto and Koji?
Kawaki is supposed to get fed to the Ten-Tail, so he's not going to kill him.
Okay.
Well, you say that, but Code's going to kill him if he comes across him, let's be honest.
No.
No,
he's begging for the Chakra Fruit. If he kills Kawaki, he loses his Chakra Fruit. Now, I'm excluding the fact that when Kawaki gets devoured, he dies. I mean, killing as in through anything but devouring.
No, bro, he'll just do it anyways. He's not going to care about that or consider that.
Oodie, if that's the case, Code in general makes no sense, and especially this chapter, because the whole thing, he's like, Jura, I'm eating this Chakra Fruit. I don't care who you are. I'm eating the fruit. He can't do that if he kills Kawaki.
Yes, he can.
He seems to be more concerned about eating this stupid fruit and getting Ishiki's will than killing Boruto and Kawaki. Let's be honest. So if he kills Kawaki, he just can't get his Chakra Fruit.
Who doesn't care? He's gonna feed Boruto to the Chakra Fruit at that the tree or whatever at that point. He doesn't care which one he kills.
No, he's not.
He's not gonna hold up his end of the bargain. Why do you think he cares about this deal he made? As if it wasn't already what he was going to do anyway.
He's not going to feed... He would rather kill Boruto and feed Kawaki than vice versa.
So okay, hypothetically, Kawaki gets into a dangerous situation. Is Code going to save Kawaki? He needs Kawaki alive.
If he's there, and potentially, yeah.
No, he's not.
He's done it before.
Don't be ridiculous.
He did it with Ferreira.
Yeah, and then he let him die, so I don't want to hear it.
He didn't let him die.
He let Boruto die. And the point is that they needed both alive at that point.
Then he was going to sacrifice Kawaki.
Code didn't care back in the Code arc. Why do you think he's going to care now?
Because he still wants the fucking chakra fruit.
He wanted it back then.
And he was going to feed Kawaki. Because he cares more about that than Ada.
It's not a big deal for him. Yeah, sure, he would probably prefer the easiest route possible. But he'll do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and what he wants is a chakra fruit. So he's going to do that.
He's going to do that either way.
Bro, if he wanted to kill Kawaki so badly over all of this, he would have just done it in chapter 1 and 2. Like, he would have just fucking appeared in front of Kawaki, killed him real quick, instead of appearing in front of Sarada.
I'm not saying he's going to go out of his way. I'm saying, given the opportunity, he's absolutely going to take it.
I don't think so, bro. When Kawaki was in front of him in chapter 3, he just ran away.
Why?
Exactly. Boruto was there.
Exactly. I don't hear it.
But hey, the opportunity was there. He could have killed Kawaki.
Yeah, you got me there. Honestly, no, it wasn't.
So, yes, it was. He could have gotten him.
That
Instead
version of Code,
Kawaki,
I don't think could have defeated Kawaki.
Anyway, back to Boruto's nonsense. Yeah, it's just, I feel like, just given how he's acting now, the easiest solution that's just like without making multiple changes would just be for him to think that he and Kawaki need to take down Code together or something because his limiters were off or something like that. Because I don't really. He also should have kept taking the pills, but yeah, I don't know. Without just completely changing things, I don't know like how to just subtly change the prophecy arc to fix this. I feel like you just have to change a lot.
I think it's all just broken. They ruined it all. At this point, there are no subtle changes anymore. There's too many back and forth flip-flops that you gotta do big changes at this point. Rewrite it all. It's the only way. God. I did write a couple things in Boruto topics about chapter 15. And so did you. So, did we want to go over some of these? Yeah. Because I think some of these are relevant even right now. I'll do this one since it's relevant to this. And you can feed off this if you want.
Can you share your screen so I know what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's my second most recent one. Okay. Let me just double check in case there's more betterer one.
I do want you to translate that Moegi thing.
That's fine.
I'm planning on doing a Skill and Shibai video.
Actually, let's start with this one. This one's fun. So, yeah. So talking about Kawaki's character, I guess. So Kawaki, this is funny. From the Shoujoji arc, what is it, Muji and the Bandits? So Kawaki literally has Tento's narrative arc, which is beginning of series Boruto's arc. LMAO. So trying to take shortcuts on training to get it quickly, which ironically stunts his progress. The problem being, it's been 3 years. At this point, it hasn't been the short term where they've needed the power. It was way more interesting when they did need power quickly, given Kawaki's method a point. With no ticking clock and an unnecessary 3-year time skip, what's the point? It's too late. How did Kawaki of all characters not notice? Oh, that's a different topic. Okay, so what do you think about that? It's just ridiculous. Why did they just reduce Kawaki down to this character that they've already done twice, basically, since the beginning of the series? I mean, you could say that, like, artistic purposes, it's kind of cool that, like, Boruto's greatest enemy is himself from the beginning of the series, but he already overcame that, like, twice.
I mean,
within himself and then within another person.
So, what part are you saying Kawaki's so obviously we know in chapter 58 Kodar, Kawaki's like we need to get this quicker. The ninja way is no good. We gotta do it this way, blah, blah, blah. But are you saying he was like that over the time skip? Because you could argue that over the time skip, he actually took more of a ninja-like approach of normal training, because Delta implies, well, he still trained. He obviously progressed his eye and so on and so forth. And he seemingly didn't ask Amato for power because Boruto's saying, that's something you're going to do in the future, and he's telling him in advance. But so Kawaki just did normal time skip training, which you could argue is because he wasn't in a rush, so he took that approach. So what?
Kawaki should be in a rush, though. That's the thing. Why isn't Kawaki in a rush?
Unexplained time skip. I don't want to say laziness.
There's no explanation.
There's a word, begins with the letter L. What's the word I'm thinking of? It's like kind of like being content, but I can't think of the word. I think it starts with the letter L. But anyway,
that's like let me put it to you this way. So okay, in Naruto there was a very clear ticking clock with getting Sasuke back at the end of Naruto Part 1, because in 3 years' time,
and then the
body swap
going to make a move in 3 years. So they had both perspectives.
I agree, but this is just about Sasuke for this, because technically that would just be an independent ticking clock for Naruto. So in this case, though, you remove that entirely. Orochimaru just unexplained isn't going to take Sasuke's body until he's stronger. Or just whenever, I don't know, he's able to beat Itachi. The point is, or he just can do it whenever, but he's choosing not. Doesn't matter. We just don't get. The point is, the ticking clock doesn't exist. In this case, Naruto still is gonna be in a rush. He wants to get as strong as possible, as quick as possible, in order to take Sasuke back as soon as he can. He doesn't want Sasuke to be gone, so that's his goal. That's like Naruto's in a rush to become Hokage. That's a thing that doesn't have a ticking time clock. Naruto's in a rush to do that. He wants to do that as quickly as he can. That doesn't mean he's actively pursuing it, but like, he's not just nonchalant, just letting it in the background to passively exist.
It's just weird that Kawaki seemingly never went looking for fucking Shinki and random Sanjonin are looking for Boruto, and Kawaki really just never left the village on a hunt. Like, even if Ada's not helping, I feel like he should have just been like on a mission with Konohamaru, whoever else they assign. Be like, all right, this is the Boruto Pursuit Squad, of course. Mitsuki and Kawaki will want to be on that. Mitsuki's got fucking sensory powers too, so yeah, he definitely should have him on this team. Kawaki's got Boruto sensing powers too. Like, he would actually, these would be the two guys to have on this team, and they both want to kill Boruto. Why wasn't there a Boruto Pursuit Squad?
Yeah. Like, even freaking the Naruto anime had a Sasuke recruits or whatever retrieval squad after the Sasuke retrieval mission, immediately after, like the day after. So
yeah, Lily, if fucking filler arcs can do it, why can't this manga? It's just like, it's just weird, because like Kawaki of all people,
do they even know?
Why would he have like this latency, like where he just doesn't care? Like, this was like the thing. He was in a rush. I understand. It's like, oh, if Momoshiki takes over while he's in the village. What if Momoshiki takes over 10 feet outside the village, then enters the village? What's the difference? The point is you want to kill him before Momoshiki takes over. So you should be running out there looking for him.
Because this is what Kawaki's character thinks anyways. This is in Boruto's true nature. Sooner or later, Momoshiki's bound to take over. It's like, what happened to that?
You know what? Actually,
that last chapter.
This is how I think. Okay, this would make the most sense. Okay, if you want to do this whole Kawaki's weak, blah 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 stuff, this is how you should do it. Steal Sasuke's dialogue to Naruto. Kawaki, instead of training, should have spent the whole 3 years constantly hunting down Boruto like code, while Boruto was hiding and training, because Kawaki never trained, he never got stronger. He was too busy hunting Boruto down. That would just make way more sense.
Yeah.
Because then Kawaki's in character, and then you've explained his weakness in a way that makes more sense than Boruto dicking on him for not training when the real problem is he was like, Amado can still limit him. That's fine, whatever. But the point should be that instead of training, he spent all that time just hunting at Boruto down. I feel like this works.
Wasn't Cold's claw marks around the village?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying this is a good excuse, but I'm pretty sure they were kind of focused on what Code was up to. I'm not saying that Code wasn't. Well, I don't know what Code was doing during that time. Actually,
Here's the
he was
problem
probably
with that,
looking
though.
for.
Ada obviously promised that she wouldn't look for Boruto, so if they ask her, she says no. She'll look for Code. She does it on her own half the time. So just have Ada keep watch. I know Code can teleport and all, but like at least you have like some heads up through Ada, and you can call Kawaki back. Frankly, just fucking I don't know. Just maybe have Damon do something for once. Code shows up. He wants to kill Code. Just have Damon do it and rewrite the time skip where he doesn't lift a finger.
Code was gonna kill Boruto. Like Boruto's lucky he got away.
Well, I don't know. Having Damon do something, I don't know about that. Because
the point is from the village's perspective. I don't know, like
I think what I'm trying to figure out is like, okay, so Code pretty much set up claw marks around the village. The villagers, well, the ninjas, the shinobi, they're trying to figure out, okay, well, what's Code's next plan? Even Kawaki's trying to figure that out himself. So I think once he figures out what Code is up to, which I don't know if they've seen the claw grimes. What's weird is that I think Sarada may have encountered the claw grimes before, and we just don't know when she did, because it's a little bit weird. Because during the pre-time skip, she's never encountered the claw grimes. So maybe during the time skip, they must have been at some mission, probably seen a few claw grimes. I don't know. I always thought that was a little.
Honestly, Code's movements are weird anyway because like when and how is he getting claw marks on people's necks without setting off sensory alarms of his presence? How is he doing that? Like he has to appear to do that.
They probably
just notice him.
Were
so unless they're
Shinobi out
doing
on
it while they're on missions. But the thing is, Code says by his own admission, he spent all these 2 years just hunting down Boruto, and he's just now decided, you know what, why don't I just come to Leaf Village? So I feel like those movements around the village were probably recent because he was just now like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to come to the village and sneak in. Mm-hmm. But if he wasn't, like, why would he? I don't think he was hunting down Boruto in the Sand Village and then also just putting claw marks in the village. Like, I feel like he was just doing one or the other. So I don't think Code was doing that all 3 years.
Well, I think my biggest thing was the fact that, Sarada knows about the claw grimes. Now, I'm not saying that she wouldn't be able to know about it at some given point during the time skip. I just wish they would tell us, like, how does she know about the claw grimes?
Specifically when you say she knows about the claw grimes.
I think that was during when.
Go ahead, though.
Well, I don't really have a problem with it. It was mainly like,
because
I was a little confused when she said,
Ada said that they existed at the end of part 1.
Them.
She probably told him what they looked like and everything as well. That Code had
I think they just knew. Like, I don't think Sarada necessarily saw one before. I think she just generally knew, like, oh, he's got these alien things with claw marks and tails and stuff.
Even if she doesn't know what they look like, she knows what claw marks look like, and so they have claw marks on them. She could just put 2 and 2 together.
Nice.
Well, apparently she can't put 2 together with Hidari.
With Hidari,
so I don't know.
I completely agree. It's ridiculous.
We need to have a whole segment about Hidari's weakness later.
But for Kamui's thing, I'm fine with Kamui's thing as well, because I don't think Code just spontaneously thought after 3 years, I should go invade the village, and then like 2 seconds later he's in the village. I think it's like, alright, you know what, screw this going after Boruto thing. I'm gonna invade the village. What do I need to do? Let me go find a shinobi, I'll put the claw mark on him, then when he gets back in the village later today, I'll just appear there. It's like Pain when he invaded the Leaf Village. He's going after Naruto, but he's like doing it cautiously. Like, he knows what he's doing, at least. So.
Like, he didn't plan the invasion for 3 years, but he like, alright, I'm gonna go. Alright, let me do a couple of preparation stuff. Okay, this is how we're gonna invade. Like, he strategized, but he didn't do it for 3 years. The Code did something similar. I mean, his invasion strategy is literally a lot like Pain's. When Clockman pops in, all of a sudden a bunch of others pop out, including him. Yeah. It's the same thing.
My question, so from the chapter 1, those claw marks on the ground, were they just outside of the Yamanaka barrier?
I believe so.
Does Code know where
I mean,
that barrier
I don't
is?
know because she has this giant ass range.
Yeah, like it's improved, hasn't it? Like, it doesn't seem
She
like
can
it
do
was
it
should
all
far
the
away
way
from
to
the
the
village.
apartment with Boruto and Kawaki and Ada and all them, which is really far away.
So it might
And
be.
Kawaki was still in the village
Yeah,
Yeah.
when he
Well, the question
went to
is
get
like
those claw
that's
marks.
my thing about
the claw. Well, the claw marks are a mixture of Code's blood and chakra. Now, do you think they should be able to emit some form of chakra signature because of that?
They do.
I think it should, but it's fine if it doesn't because it's so small. You can argue that's small enough that it doesn't register, but in theory, like Karine, I feel like would notice it, for example.
Yeah.
At least.
Well, no, I think the point is that if you're like looking for it, you'll notice it. But like if they just appear, then it's not gonna like register a detection system or anything.
Yeah. Ain't like too big or anything to be noticed.
It's just small enough to, and I think that's fine. But I will say, I'm looking at the chapter right now. They're just right outside the village's gate, tricking these claw marks. So that's
Yeah.
definitely within Yamanaka range.
Then that makes me think it might be the claw grimes can place claw marks, possibly. Because Code can't do that. Unless it's just a complete retcon and it just doesn't make sense.
Wait, did you say claw grimes can place claw marks?
Because
Well, even
Code
then, the claw
can't
grimes would
place
set
them
off
there.
alarms too, though.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, is that I
Wait, what do you
don't
mean?
know if they would. I don't think they would necessarily based on that.
They do. The claw grimes do in chapter 1 set off the alarm.
Do they?
Wait,
Yep. The moment one comes in, unknown chakra detected. Who the heck is this guy? And then more pop out, and as well as Code eventually.
Okay, then
well,
it just
how
doesn't
would
make
they
sense.
be able to do that without the person? How would they be able to do that without the person, recognizing them or sensing? I'm not saying that. Well, it's weird because how would they be able to place a claw mark that small into that person without being
I guess
detected?
the claw marks just don't register the system for whatever reason.
That's weird too,
Like,
then.
they
So
just don't.
okay, so then the
Well,
unregistered chakra from chapter 1 when the claw grime appears is the Ten Tails, obviously. Then they've registered that chakra. What? So then Jura is also
No,
different.
no, they haven't necessarily registered it because we don't know what the process of registering is.
I get that.
Just because they
but
sense it doesn't mean they register.
it should be able to be a match or whatever. Should at least be familiar. It's
Well,
I
question-
think the better argument is they should have tracked the data. Like it just do whatever they have to do to save the data. They should have just done it. But
Yeah.
the other argument you could make is that you might not like this because it doesn't make sense for Jura either, but maybe the claw grimes actually just register as Code's chakra. The reason I'm saying that is because when the claw grimes show up, they say, hey, unknown chakra detected. Who is this guy? More claw grimes show up, they don't say anything. When Code shows up, they don't say anything. Then when Boruto shows up, they say, hey, new chakra detected. So the claw grimes and Code's chakra might register the same because of the claw marks.
Okay.
But then it's like, okay, why don't the claw marks on the random shinobi's neck register anything? Seems plot convenient, no matter how you put it.
Well, my thing is like, how did the claw marks get onto that guy?
We don't know.
Was he not
The
paying it?
best explanation would be it happened during a mission, but
Yeah.
because otherwise it's like how
would he
Code
not
just
be able to?
doing that?
Yeah. How would he not be able to sense anything like any irregular chakra? Well, I'm not saying I'm not saying they're all like really good sensors, but it's like they should be able to sense something. If I'm
I mean,
not
they
mistaken.
can sense at least out. No, actually, can they sense out? Okay, this is so stupid, but
Yeah.
okay. I'm not gonna lie. This is absolutely the R word levels of stupid. The village has this problem, but I think it actually might be true. I don't think the chakra detection system. Oh yeah, actually no. I have 2 pieces of evidence for it. Yeah, okay, this is so stupid. The chakra detection system doesn't work until you cross the line by the gate. So if you're standing 1 foot outside the gate, it doesn't do anything. What's the proof? Well,
Amado.
it doesn't register Code outside the village, but it's with Jura and Hidari, it doesn't register until they're crossing the gate. And with Koji and Delta,
Yeah.
well, Koji's not gonna register anyway. They're standing on the gate. Delta's not registering yet. It's not until she enters over the gate that she registers. So how stupid
Well,
is
Delta's not
Shikamaru and
standing
Ino?
on the
It's
gate.
just
Delta's
added to the
standing on a
list.
tree outside of the gate, but still, it's like 5 feet
By
outside
like
the
10
gate.
feet, maybe.
Well, I don't think. Well,
Yeah.
the question I'm having is like, okay, how were the ninja not able to, sense? Well, not be able to figure out that there was claw marks on them. Did the claw grimes place it onto them without them knowing, or
I think
was it code?
I think he was
Okay.
10 feet outside the border of chakra detection. Put on their neck, somehow they don't feel it. I don't even know when Bug got one on his face, it's like slapped him. I don't understand, bro.
Well, Shikamaru is the counter to that. So, but the thing is that we know that Code can like throw the claw mark, so I'm guessing that's what he did. He was just hiding. He just threw him from a distance.
Well, Shikamaru knew the claw mark was on his neck, though.
Shikamaru's smart. I don't think it's because he felt it. Like, I think the point is that Code thought he didn't feel it, implying that it shouldn't be able to be felt.
I agree, but
so he kind of underestimated Shikamaru in that sense.
Yeah.
But for any regular for any regular Jonin, that would be easy for Code.
Not really, bro. Because think about it. If one of these guys just has a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or a wife, or whatever, but he's gonna come home, change, and the wife's gonna be like, "Hey, what's this black spiky thing on your neck? Huh?" Hey. Apparently, every single shinobi here, the Code must have found out. That one's single, has no friends. They'll never notice. Like,
well, how many claw grimes came out of Shinobi? Was it or how many Shinobi did claw grimes come out of? Was it just that one guy? Because Code could have done that in
Kawaki
chapter 1 off screen and just did it immediately.
Kawaki shrunk a guy earlier in the chapter, and then one pops out of one guy. It's implied that more had to have, because we see one pop out of one guy and that claw grime's by himself. Then it cuts over to like Kawaki and stuff, and there's just other claw grime all over the place. So clearly they came out of more than one person.
Yeah. Well, I keep forgetting that Code is an assassin.
Well, he used to be.
Before
he started fighting like an idiot. At least he started fighting. Speaking of inconsistencies, it's still okay. I'm so happy that Code was doing the thing where he sticks the claws out of the person's neck to try to cut their throat in this chapter. But it's like, what happened to that in the first several chapters of Two Blue Vortex? Like, why did you stop? Why didn't he do it to Damon?
By the way,
I understand the reflection,
it wouldn't
but when
work.
Damon says, I won't reflect anything anymore, why didn't Code just appear one on there and try it?
You have to. Okay, so I think it's mainly because of the mechanism of the reflection Shinjutsu.
Because Damon stopped reflecting things.
Well, I don't know if that's the case, because it's an unconscious. It's like Ada's ability; it's unconscious.
Not unconscious.
I mean,
even if you want to say Damon doesn't intentionally do it, the reflection stopped happening. Like, Code pulls out his claws, reflects because Damon's touching his back, and then when Damon lets go, Code's fighting him, and he's not getting reflected anymore. But at the time, it's because Damon's not touching someone with his hands. Whether you think it's because of the hands or he intentionally turned off, doesn't really matter. The point is, the reflection wasn't happening. Code should have just spawned a claw mark on his neck. And whether or not Damon's just going to counter it by yanking him out or whatever, that's fine. Code should have just left it on there anyway. Why not?
Are you talking about during their initial battle?
Yeah.
Or just like,
even if if he's not going to use it in the fight, just have a claw mark on Damon for just in case you need it.
Like
Damon can't just take it off.
Like no, I don't think Code can place it on Damon.
Kawaki could shrink it later on down the line, but at the time, it's just like, just do it. Why not?
So at that given point, Code wasn't really thinking like an assassin.
No, I don't think Code can place it on Damon.
Why not?
Well, first of all, Damon's too fast. I don't think he would let him.
I don't think it's a speed thing. It just spawns.
No, Code has to throw it.
No, he just spawns
slashes.
on people.
No, he just
Okay,
slashes.
well,
No,
does
he
he just-
doesn't always. No, he doesn't always. He just sometimes it just spawns without him doing anything.
What?
You have to show me
The
that.
Can you show me?
slashing's inconsistent. He doesn't
Well-
always slash.
Oh god.
Kamui, what instances was it where he was able to do something like that?
Exactly.
I keep forgetting because it's like
I can find one. Hold on.
Now we just
because I
throw
need to
stuff out there.
see like examples of that, because instances of that, because for me it's like I mainly see him just throw the claw marks or place it. I don't know if he could just spawn it on somebody, like something
Yeah.
like something akin to what a dojutsu is able to do, like with Sasuke summoning Amaterasu or
exactly.
anything like that.
So this one isn't necessarily what I'm referring to, but just as an example, this one isn't like a slash. It's like he just put his hand in front of his. So like I said, this isn't the examples I'm gonna look for, but I'm just gonna send this anyway. This isn't him slashing. It's just he's doing the fish thing, where he's not really doing anything. He just has the claw in front of his face, which will be the bottom right-ish area. You can see the thing. So again, that's not the example I'm looking at, but he's not go down the bot the one there. Oh, he just has the claws in front of his body, and then top left, the claw mark appears on the dude. So that's one. Not the example again. It's just an example of him not really slashing.
Maybe he has to come into contact with someone for it to spawn.
He didn't come into contact with him. That was across a distance.
Well, no, this is the guy, right? He's in contact with them right here.
No. Different guy. He's putting a claw mark on the other guy.
No, this is the same guy.
What chapter was that?
Oodie, no, it's not. He's killed a guy in the bottom right. He killed a guy. Then he and makes the claw mark on a new guy who he then kills. Two different guys.
I disagree.
What do you mean? Okay. Go to the top right.
Yeah.
The top beginning of the page. Okay. He kills a dude.
Yeah, and here's a different
with glasses and a beard.
Yeah.
Then mask guy shoots at him. So Ko takes the guy he killed with the glasses and beard, blocks the guns with this.
Yeah.
That's what you're seeing here. He then goes with his hand and puts a claw mark on the gun blaster dude, sticks his hand in the ground, and kills the dude with this claw mark to the neck trick. These are two different guys. From the top right is a different guy from the top left.
If you want to interpret it that way, sure.
What do you mean interpret, bro? They literally have different designs.
The designs are
I don't
basically
waste
the
my
same.
voice on this. Okay, come on. No, they're not, bro. One is wearing a mask, no glasses. The other has a beard and glasses. Wait, they're not the same guy. Anyway,
So
let me look for actual examples now.
are you just talking about like the one panel where he's right behind the guy looking at the other one and just spawns right in front of him?
Yes, the panel, he just spawns one there, but let me find a better one that looks like, I mean, in that one you can still say, oh, he did something with his hand. It's not a slash. That's all I was getting at there. But yes, he did something with his claw.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna find actual examples that I want to find. Well, I mean, there's also the times when he just randomly teleports away without slashing, but besides those.
I mean, even if you don't say it's a different person, then he's obviously aiming and looking at that person anyways, so.
All I was getting, what do you mean if you want to say, bro, it's clearly a different person.
What happens in the anime?
Slash. The same thing. He just puts his hand up and then that happens.
Okay, so you throw it.
He didn't throw it. That's not how you throw.
He slashed it. Is that what you want to hear?
No, he didn't slash. He just curled his fingers towards himself. He just put his hand in front of his face and then it just appeared. All right. Anyway.
So yeah. Okay.
So continuing. I'm just gonna do a few. All right, let's do one at a time. Okay, so this one, I don't know how it looks in the anime off the top of my head. We can check if you really want. In this one, you can argue it's just an off-screen slash. But in terms of what we saw, didn't slash, it just appeared. You can argue it's off-screen. That's fine. Didn't do anything on screen, at least. What I really need is the Chapter 64 fight. I'm just gonna check for any more. Oh yeah, here's another one. He just
if it's off screen, we would just go based on consistency, of which case it would be a slash, considering that's what we see.
You don't see a slash. Another one.
I don't need to clarify.
Just randomly there again. You can argue off screen, whatever, but like they're just appearing places. Okay, let me look for Chapter 64 now. Really, what I want to find.
And again, what happens
Feel free
in
to check
anime
the anime
for all of these? Exactly.
I said 3 times. Feel free to check. I don't know off the top of my head.
There you go.
Either way, he can at least just do the fish thing. Pretty minimal effort. And again, I don't think he's throwing it necessarily. I think he's just doing it, and then it just appears. Because Oodie, even if he has to make a slashing motion, I don't think he's necessarily throwing the mark. He might just have to make the motion and then it spawns.
That's pretty clearly how it's depicted.
It travel.
Well, no, we basically do.
Because it always just that it's actually not true, especially if I want to go with the anime, because in the anime, he'll like slash and then you'll see the claw mark. Like, it's almost like if you took a marker and you drew a line, it'll just it's not thrown against the tree. It'll just like start from the top and start drawing a line down. It just like spawns in that weird way that it does.
Yeah, I agree.
It grows on you.
Because I agree. It's basically quantum mechanically traveling there.
No.
It's basically teleportation, but not instantaneous. Like transportation.
That's okay, then it wouldn't be basically teleport. It's either just teleportation or not. But anyway.
Well, teleportation doesn't have to be instantaneous. That's why instantaneous transportation or teleportation is a word.
Oh, teleportation's instant.
It is if you have it be instantaneous teleportation. I agree. The version of teleportation you're thinking of is instantaneous. I agree. Teleportation, it doesn't necessarily have to be instantaneous.
Whatever. Regardless, Code doesn't have to do the swing around the arm thing. He can just bend his finger, point at you, and it just shows up from what we see at the time. Long story short, you never see it travel. There's no proof. And worst fucking scenario, why doesn't Code try it and show off Damon's speed by Damon dodging it, like the Amaterasu versus the Raikage thing? Wouldn't that be fucking cool? I'm not gonna let it slide no matter what perspective you take. It's just bad that he's not trying to do it.
Well, then that's an Ikimoto thing, not a Code thing.
And that's the whole point.
Okay, I'm glad we agree.
Anyway, next topic.
Kamui's just done. Kamui's just done at this game.
Okay. Well, I will say, I don't think Code could do it anyways, regardless of the speed thing. Like, I just don't think it would work.
Don't care. I don't care anymore.
But what does Immortal think about that?
The whole teleportation Code instantly teleporting thing.
I mean, I can, in light of TTPD equals GOAT's message, I didn't bring this up because I figured someone's just gonna argue and say, well, Code can't, but Hidari can for whatever reason. Hidari, and yeah, I already see Oodie's response, not Code. Yeah. Hidari can just spawn them, And yes, the argument is, well, Hidari is not Code, doesn't mean Code can, and that's fair. But at the same time, it's kind of like, why would Hidari be able to and not Code? It's like it's his Shinjutsu. Like,
well, he's doing it through his Rinnegan
regardless if in
somehow.
series that is the case, I still think it's stupid if he can't. Regardless if that's what Ikimoto wants, I think it's stupid. Code should be able to do it if Hidari can.
It's this weird
Well, I think
Rinnegan
it's different.
thing.
The point with Hidari is it's like he can use Chidori, all that Sasuke jutsu, in addition to the claw marks, rather than Code just using claw marks. It seems incredibly dumb to me that Hidari would not only get Sasuke jutsu, but also be able to do more with the claw marks than Code himself. It's just stupid. So whether or not it's true, it's just dumb, and I hate it.
Well, why is it stupid?
Because it's Code's ability, bro. Like, talk about just wasting your characters and villains in terms of like the shonen battle format. It's just like, what's the point of Code anymore? As far as the fight mechanics go, nobody cares at it because it's just like, oh, great, he's worse than Hidari in every way. Other than he's got a big claw. It cares. Bro.
I don't want Code to be able to do this.
The fighting dynamic.
Because if this is gonna happen anyways, then you might as well have Code just slash it there, because that's gonna look cooler.
He should be able to do both. I don't care if he slashes as long as it can just spawn. That's the point. The point is that it's spawn.
Well, then just have him fast enough to where you can just slash it quickly. Like, have him slash it either way.
No, he should just slash and it spawns. It teleports there like Hidari, but he does the slash thing that's cool.
Well, how would he be able to do that? Will he just like look at someone, or does he need a dojutsu?
Yeah, the same way
that?
Hidari does, where he just looks at you and it does it. I don't know why
Well,
Hidari's not doing the claw mark on your body trick either. Hidari's at least canonically the dumbest person in the world, at least.
I don't know if Hidari can't even do
Hidari,
that. He might be limited, not be able to do that.
No, Hidari, he uses his Rinnegan to spawn the claw marks, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So it's Hidari's case is a lot different from Code's.
Exactly.
Whereas, you know.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be better. It should be worse.
Well, I would say, it's a little weird.
I don't think
considering that this is the Ten Tails.
Yeah, I don't know why it'd be worse.
I just think that, you know, Code shouldn't be able to spawn.
I don't want look, character stuff aside, in terms of fights, I don't want to watch Code fight anymore if I can just get everything Code has, but more with all the other Shinju. It's just worse. I don't want to watch. I don't know how to put it. It's just like it's just less cool.
We're not watching Code fight for the fight. We're watching Code fight for Code.
But I want the fight to be fun and cool.
It is still fun and cool.
It is.
No, it's not. It just feels like a letdown at that point. Why can't Code just be better at the claw marks? All I'm asking for is for Code's one only sole ability to be better than Hidari, who got the I just want Code's version to be better. Is that too much to ask?
He's not Otsutsuki. He doesn't have the Rinnegan.
He's not there yet.
Neither are the Shinju.
The Shinju are Otsutsuki, bro. I'm being honest.
They're not Otsutsuki. You keep saying everyone's Otsutsuki when they're not Otsutsuki. They're clearly two different things. They clearly put them in a different category. I don't care if they have similarities. They themselves are not Otsutsuki.
Nah, bro, they are. They will be.
That's a different thing right there. So which is are they or will they be?
It's both.
That's actually an interesting topic.
No, that doesn't make sense.
How?
I mean, it can make sense, but
exactly.
What's the point of mentioning the will be?
Well, if it can make sense, then it does make sense.
Yeah, but why would you mention the will be at that point, though, then?
To say that it's not only now, it's going to continue to be.
That's so stupid, bro. It's fucking nonsense. They're not
okay, I'm sorry that you disagree.
They're currently Shinju, not Otsutsuki.
The Shinju are Otsutsuki, exactly.
No, they're not. Like, even if they can go back and forth between each other, They are not Otsutsuki when they're in the Shinju form. That's why they have a different name.
They're not
appearance.
Otsutsuki humans. They're Otsutsuki trees. The point
They're
is,
just
it's all
fucking
Otsutsuki.
trees.
It's still the same thing.
No,
it's
Otsutsuki
Otsutsuki.
related, but they aren't Otsutsuki.
Then what are Otsutsuki? Don't just list their names.
The fucking white alien people that we've been following. We can get into specifics of what makes them Otsutsuki, but the Shinju aren't that. Not yet, at least.
So, how does Code become Otsutsuki?
By according to Ishikari's smoky hologram thing, by eating a chakra fruit.
Okay. Which comes from?
The divine tree sucking up all chakra on the planet. That hasn't happened yet.
Okay, is all chakra on
then
the
eating
planet Otsutsuki?
No.
Then where does the Otsutsukification come from?
When you eat all chakra on the planet. But the chakra fruit itself is not Otsutsuki.
No.
It's when a human or possibly other animal eats it.
No, I don't.
But humans
I
can't
don't
eat
think if
chakra
Code,
foods.
because like when Madara was absorbing all chakra on the planet, assuming he just could do that without any issues, I don't think he just becomes Otsutsuki from absorbing all the chakra on the planet. I think it's specifically from eating the tree, the fruit from the tree.
Yeah, we don't know what other. I mean, they could introduce more mechanics about what the fruit has that makes it Otsutsuki or whatever. Regardless, though, that's not the Shinju aren't in that state currently. The Shinju have to produce the fruit and then eat it to become Otsutsuki.
It's okay, but the fruit comes from the tree. Like it's like a birthing process. Your child has your genetics or whatever.
It's not a child though. It's fruit's different than that. But regardless,
well, this is plant stuff.
They don't have the raw
works.
materials to make the fruit yet. They're not even in their official tree form that makes the fruit.
It doesn't have the nutrients, but they have the ability to make a fruit.
No, they don't, because they need it. They need to eat the Otsutsuki first.
Like I said, they don't have the nutrients to do so.
Making form. No. There's two steps here. First, they need the nutrients that turn them into the fruit-making form. Then they need the nutrients to make the fruit. They're 2 steps away.
I agree. I'm saying that both of those are like in the same category.
They're not Otsutsuki, bro. I don't want to argue. Can we talk about something else, bro? I'm trying not to lose my voice again.
And besides, are they even gonna absorb all chakra on the planet anymore? Because it seems like they're just gonna eat Boruto and Kawaki, and that's just gonna be the end of it. Like, I think it takes thousands of years only if they absorb all life on the planet.
They're not just gonna eat Boruto and Kawaki, because first of all, Kashi and Goji's future vision is about them absorbing all life on the planet. And second, if they eat Boruto and Kawaki, regardless if it's the fucking tree in that dimension or bug eats or whoever, the point is you get the real divine tree at the end of that, and then it does absorb the planet stuff to produce the fruit.
I mean, they're talking.
Now, technically,
they're talking.
You do
like...
have a retcon inconsistency problem in terms of all life versus enough life. Because when Kaguya did it, it wasn't all life, and it surely had a fucking fine-ass fruit from what we saw. But in Boruto, they act like it has to be all life. That's inconsistent with Naruto. So it's one or the
plus
other.
Kaguya didn't feed an Otsutsuki as far as we're aware. If anything, it was half of the Ishiki, which again, going back to like Boruto and Kawaki, Momoshiki makes it sound like they're harvesting a quality of fruit based on them, not the chakra on the planet. Which should be immense. It should be the perfect fruit.
The way I surmise, so based off all the dialogue, and we can use the hypothetical that Kaguya used half of Ishiki, because that works really well with this. So Ishiki or Jigen tells Amado in chapter 39, Boruto and Kawaki will become powerful Otsutsuki, powerful enough to devour all life on the planet. That implies that you need a certain level of power to do that. Then Momoshiki's like, you might be on the smaller side, but we should still get a decent fruit by using you at 80%. So a hypothetical 100% good Otsutsuki sacrifice means that you're going to get the whole planet. Half of that, like a half of Ishiki, might mean you only get half the planet, which means, well, half as good of a fruit. The fruit's just probably proportionate to how much you absorb. How much you absorb is proportionate to the Otsutsuki sacrifice. Maybe the Ten Tails itself, too, that might play an influence, but they haven't discussed it yet.
I don't know. I mean, we know that Momoshiki can just make chakra pills anyways. It feels like Momoshiki was just gonna feed Kawaki to the Ten Tails and then just eat the fruit in that dimension rather than bringing it to Earth or whatever.
Well, in theory, so here's the thing.
Feels like Code wants to do the same.
Hypothetically, if there's no life on that planet and it just absorbs like natural energy and the rocks and whatever, like does that just work fine, or is it like very mediocre compared to a planet with life on it?
It should honestly be better.
But what?
Like, nature energy just feels stronger.
The thing is, though, it's not described as taking in nature energy. I don't know, it's weird, but regardless, so if you just have nature energy plus people chakra, that should just be better anyway. But my thing is more so, how is because like I agree with you, because how is Momoshiki gonna get that Ten Tails on Earth? Like, what was he gonna do?
Yeah.
To move it? Was he just gonna open a giant space-time portal and just pop it out on Earth? I guess that's probably what you have to do. It's the only explanation, really.
Yeah. Again, it feels like they're basing the quality of the fruit based on the
Otsutsuki, gonna do? They
life.
like.
But then again, going with like the space curvatures from Momoshiki and everything else that he's telling Naruto from that first arc, it feels like it should be the chakra of the planet that makes the fruit so quality. But apparently it's the Otsutsuki later on. So I don't know if they retconned it or if they just changed their mind of what they were gonna do or what. It just doesn't make sense. They just go back and forth.
Well, I'll say two things. One is that, well, both could just be an influence. And second, so Momoshiki's saying like, wow, the chakra on Earth's really powerful. Well, we know that chakra came ultimately because of Kaguya's fruit. So hypothetically, in terms of the chain of stuff here, Kaguya's sacrifice, whether it's half of Ishiki or whatever, might have just been God tier anyway. She gets a super OP fruit, and Momoshiki's just sensing the chakra of that fruit, which has been split up. And he's saying, damn,
I don't
that
think
was a good
so.
fruit. You can't just interpret it that way.
Because when Kaguya ate her fruit, she got immensely more powerful anyways.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's from Earth, not from the Otsutsuki at that point. I mean, that whole filler we could just throw in the trash now anyway, so I don't know. That tree was already there, but then it came with Kaguya. It just doesn't make sense. Kaguya came alone and with Ishiki.
Very convoluted. I hope, but don't expect much in terms of consistencies with Naruto. I do largely expect that they're just gonna. I don't even expect consistency within Boruto Part 1, to be honest. I'm just expecting them. Actually, I don't even expect them to address it at this point, but. So we got 3 layers to work with. First, they just got to address it. Second, needs because this is Boruto Part 1. Then it needs to be consistent with Naruto. That's the chain of hope here.
I mean, I think, again, considering Boruto wasn't expected to be made, Shippuden, the anime series, and the dad book, everything, were just leaning in the direction that the Ten Tails, like, the most magnificent, extreme creature of all time. It made the Earth. It made the universe. It's like, I feel like the Ten Tails had all of the chakra or something is the original idea.
I mean, to be honest, like, in terms of Kishimoto's original work, it's more so that the Divine Tree just, like, exists on Earth. It's just a thing that's always been there since the beginning, but nobody ever ate the fruit before Kaguya.
Yeah.
She's just the first to actually do it. And then she turns into the Ten Tails in order to beat her sons and reclaim her chakra. They never really explained what exactly her plan was there, but that's the plan anyway. And then that's it. That just is. Now, where it gets weird, this is the counter argument as well. Why is Hagoromo being like, it doesn't matter where Kaguya is from, and Naruto asks, which implies that like she came from, I think he even says she came from a faraway place. It's like, okay, well now you're implying she's from outer space, and so obviously with Boruto in mind, that makes sense. If you just remove Boruto from the equation, I would have kept Madara's original story. Just have it be the fruit's just there because that's how this universe works. Kage ate the fruit. Her son's really strong, so on and so forth. Like, that worked.
That being said, I think the anime's interpretation, at least of the Kaguya fight, just makes more sense. Because, what do you mean Hagoromo and Hamura was just fighting the Ten Tails that they didn't know was their mother, and then they somehow sealed it, and Geto Mazo and the... Like, no, based on the visuals, they would have just done the exact same thing that Naruto and Sasuke did. So it makes sense that they would have touched the Kaguya's shoulders or whatever to place the sun and moon seal.
Well, it's weird because, like, well, first of all, like, if Hagoromo didn't know, what did you think happened to his mom? Did you think his mom just ran away? Like, what did you think happened there? Did you think the Ten Tails ate his mom? Just, they never addressed what he thought exactly. But I mean, if you want to go with the canon, so what Hagoromo did was they fought the Ten Tails. It wasn't going anywhere, so he absorbed it into himself. He just does that. Then 20 years later, probably like 70 years later, actually, he takes the Ten Tails out of himself and then does the Chibaku Tensei with Hamura to make the move.
Kishimoto just wasn't thinking, bro, because why did Hagoromo fight the Ten Tails for months and then do that? You could just do that.
Yeah, I mean, she was definitely writing as he went along there because, I mean, the story kept, like, changing. It's like, oh, it was actually this, it was actually that. And then we've already discussed some of these, but then it's like you look in hindsight and like, all right, these don't work together.
Plus, let's be honest, Kaguya just would have been more powerful fighting as herself instead of turning into the Ten Tails.
I know, it's so weird. It's like, why did you do that? It's like fucking Hashirama can beat you. Like Hashirama got you. He's not beating you, Kaguya, but he can restrain the Ten Tails at least. I know we debated that, but at the very least, we can agree that Hashirama does better against the Ten Tails than Kaguya. Like that's a big nerf.
Yeah. So
you also just become. I understand everyone likes to say Kaguya is stupid, but I think we can agree that she's at least smarter than the Ten Tails.
Yes. Oh my god. We can move to a different topic though. Immortal's deafened, so we can go to the original topic that I was going to go to before I scrolled up.
I'm gonna.
Okay. First, I did want to comment on this a little bit more. So my point of like the whole 3 years thing just doesn't make sense is because Kawaki's whole thing is that we don't have time because Code's still out there and he can invade at any time and we need to be prepared. And so that's what he's going into this arc with. That doesn't change after this arc. Like, so,
and obviously, the prophecy arc makes it clear that while he's definitely thinking of Cody, Lily mentions him, he seems to be more concerned about Momoshiki as the immediate problem, which is, I mean, do you like the idea of Kawaki just being on the... You can even just say it's both the Boruto and Code Pursuit Squad, because Shikamaru apparently thinks that they can beat Code anyway with Boruto and Kawaki, so just have Kawaki Nitsuki instead, and whoever else they send. Like, do you like the idea that just Kawaki's on the Boruto/Code Pursuit Squad, and that's why, like, that's just what he's doing?
Yeah, because at the end of part 1, I would imagine he thinks that he's stronger than both. Well, I don't think he does think he's stronger than Code at the end of part 1. That's the problem. He might think he's stronger than Boruto.
So it's just kind of like left ambiguous. Like,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, freaking all his PTSD, he should think he's weaker than Code, who just got his limiters off. Like, he should know that. That should give him anxiety or whatever. And that should give him his resolve drive that he had at the beginning of the Code Arc in the first place. But that's my thing, though. You're going for power in the short term, and then you don't even get it in the long term. What happened? Like, when you don't get it in the short term, do you just keep trying it in the short term until you just keep failing like 30 times over until it just becomes the long term? I don't think Kawaki would do that. It doesn't even make sense. Why doesn't it work in this case? I don't understand what happened.
Yeah, it doesn't. So his training philosophy is basically just like life or death training got me really strong really fast. Well, that is, if you do that for 3 years, it's not like it's just gonna not work. It's just no, it's gonna work really well for all 3 years.
Yeah, he'd be way stronger than Boruto right now.
Yeah, exactly. Rocky's point was that Jigen was a dickhead, but his training methods work.
Yeah,
they still work. Like,
and
that's not even disputable, because
yeah.
Mitsuki's like, yeah, either way is fine. And we've literally seen throughout the whole Naruto and Boruto story that actual life or death battles, characters get stronger all the time in these. Kawaki's point is basically, let's just make our training that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this does work.
Because
but obviously, I don't think he was doing that. I don't know.
This isn't just Kawaki's trauma ideology that was instilled into him from Jigen. Kawaki's living proof. His physical body is the evidence alone. The fact that he is strong in contesting with Boruto or whatever. I don't get it, bro.
The fact that bro can run up cliffs without chakra training.
And again, it's just consistent with Shippuden. Like, Killer B says that fighting is the best way to gain strength or whatever.
Yeah, you literally see it in countless fights that
yeah,
people
the
just
Gara
get stronger
fight,
during
the
the
Haku
fight.
fight. It's been there since the very beginning.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, Kawaki just is right. Now, obviously, Boruto, Sarah, they have a point in terms of like certain stuff. Like, for example, you're not gonna get better chakra control through Kawaki's method. Like, no, you have to do the chakra control training stuff. So the point, the realistic answer is you should do both. That's the best way.
Not
just one or the other. Just do both. I don't even know why. You know why this was an argument with them? Like, they should be thinking, let's just do both. Like,
well, that's why
like,
I wrote it
Mitsuki's
down like this way, because even if it's not literally like taking a shortcut or whatever from Kawaki's idea, it's the same idea as the scientific ninja tech from the very beginning of Boruto. Like, yeah, it makes Boruto stronger in the short term, but if he has that, then he's not going to improve his base to rely on himself, in which case he can amplify himself with the scientific ninja tech. That's going to stunt him in the long term. The point is that Boruto needs to be able to do it on his own, and then the scientific ninja tech add on to what he can do on his own, rather than something he can't do on his own that he substitutes with or supplements with the scientific ninja tech. That's not what Kawaki's doing.
Yeah, I really think the best solution is just have Kawaki be so focused on killing Boruto and finding him that he neglects training, and that's just why he's weaker. Just makes more sense than him.
But is he gonna do that for 3
in the Leaf Village,
years?
not a care in the world.
Is he gonna think that Boruto isn't getting stronger? Like, why does he think? I don't understand. It's been 3 years. That's too long. 3 years. You realize how long that is, Kamui? We've been doing this podcast for less than 2 years. Imagine it's like double the length of this podcast. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
To put that in perspective, that's 3 Thanksgiving, 3 Christmases, 3 Halloweens, 3 birthdays. That's like 1,000 days. Okay, there's no excuse. That's how many hours is that? That's 24,000 hours. No, I don't accept this.
Yeah, and then like you said, it's just like, I understand that Kawaki may have never gone all out to notice like that he's been limited. Like, I guess this can be the segue to the next topic.
Sure. You're gonna hate me. So going off the premise that Amado made all of the scientific ninja tech through the science of the world, Do you think he made Boro's vents inspired off of Katasuke's earmuff things?
Why would I hate you for that? I love that. That's awesome. I hope that's true.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's just. I now I'm upset that just isn't in the story. I'm upset that Boro doesn't have a line saying "ha ha ha." Like your ninja tech. Like this was we got this idea from your ninja tech friend that has a flashback to Katasuke's ears.
Well, that's definitely going in the abridged, so don't worry, it's canon.
Write it down.
Okay. So I wanted to go back to something. Probably this. Not this. It was something. It was the arm for some reason. But I guess I can't remember it, so I guess we'll just ignore it. So okay. Yeah, weird that he didn't notice the limiter. And yeah, you said what exactly was limited. I guess we talked about that as well. So
yeah, we already did that.
Okay, I guess just stemming off of that topic, we'll go to this one, and then we'll do whatever you want after. But okay. So why do Boruto and Kawaki keep meeting up on top of Naruto's Hokage statue in universe? They both have reasons. They're individually tied to that location, but there is no bond, relationship, anything over that head, like between the two of them. You can argue when Boruto got his scar, that was like coincidence location-wise, but I'm pretty sure Kawaki was waiting there to cut Boruto off because he figured you'd come this way for some reason, right? Doesn't he say that in like chapter 77 or 76 or something?
78. Check that.
Pretty sure it's like right after he seals or tries to seal him. I should say. It's gonna be way up here, obviously. Well, a little bit lower, probably. Okay, let's see what he says. It would be easy if I could just seal you away too, Kawaki. Heading home, right? Thought you'd pass this way. Yeah. So it's not like Boruto's not traveling through Naruto's head for any specific reason. It's just his beeline, straight line route to his house because of the Naruto thing.
Yeah, from the apartment to there, just you have to go over the Hokage stone faces.
Exactly. Like Boruto would have to go some boundy roundabout way if he wanted to avoid Naruto's. So it's not like he's going here for a specific. This is just coincidental location.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to this point. Yeah.
Now we know Kawaki sits on the head in multiple chapters for obvious reasons.
Well, yeah, I get into that. So they both have independent reasons for that location being important to them. Like you're saying, Kawaki sitting on the head, he feels like he's an outclassed loner to the village. He feels like Naruto's the only one there for him or whatever. And then Boruto has his own reasons. If you want to count anime, he crashes train into his head. And then obviously in the manga, he's drawing on Naruto's head. He draws on all the heads, but like Naruto's head, like his father. So they got their reasons.
He does the "this is my story" fist punch thing on Naruto's head.
Exactly. In the code arc at the anime at the very end, they do the "this is my story" there.
How that went somewhere, right?
Yeah. Okay, but anyways, you can argue when Boruto got his scar, that was coincidence location-wise. Yeah, okay, I just read all that, figured you'd come this way for some reason. So why would it... Yeah, okay, so this is just what we were already saying. Why wouldn't he just beeline it straight to his house or go to wherever he last felt Kawaki's location? Why would Kawaki think that, considering Kawaki doesn't know Boruto's personal connections? Yeah, so that was just saying that, yeah, Kawaki did cut him off because coincidental, this was just the route on his way to his house. Okay, so here's where I'm getting like the story comparison. So in Naruto, okay, because this like the final valley is the Boruto's version of the Hokage Naruto head in this case. So just making the comparison. In Naruto, the final valley was just coincidentally where Naruto caught up to Sasuke in part 1, and that's fine. but in that fight, something just immediately, Sasuke mentions mid-fight what this location is, but that's not why they're there. That's just what the location is. Then, after the fight, Kakashi hints about this location being important for Naruto and Sasuke's relationship, just as a concept. The fact that it's like a flowing river of eternal conflict and the whole world's in conflict. It's not like, oh, Madara, Hashirama, deity, reincarnations. That's not the point. But Kakashi's still like making this location grandiose, specifically in relation to Naruto and Sasuke's bond. Then, Shippuden introduced Madara and Hashirama, not only as characters, but also their history, so the final valley is being recontextualized based on that. Then Indra and Ashura stuff later in the war arc makes Naruto and Sasuke tied by fate to that location to fight to the death there, which is also foreshadowed at the end of Fight Kage Summit. If you and I fight, we'll die together, blah blah. So then Naruto and Sasuke, who aren't Indra and Ashura, have to go there to fight and not die to break that destiny, cycle, history, reincarnation nonsense. There's a whole theme going there. So that all works. So, last paragraph here. Sasuke chooses that location at the end of Shippuden for all of the reasons above, and also because Sasuke has personal ties to Naruto with that location, with his bond with Naruto, because that was the end of their fight in part 1. They have a reason to go there. He goes there because they fought there before. But right now, in the story, Boruto and Kawaki are seemingly drawn to this place because they fight there after. Which makes no sense in universe and only matters to the audience who has seen the flash forward scene. I don't think Boruto knows about the flash forward scene, because I don't think Koji told him. I don't think the Jogan or Momoshiki future sight shenanigans are afoot. I don't think he's seen that flash forward scene yet. So this is just retrospective nonsense. In Naruto, it made sense because they fought there previously. In Boruto, it makes no sense because they will fight there later, unbeknownst to them.
Yeah, and I would agree, because it's like in Naruto, like, so obviously Kishimoto had the intention of like the Hashirama and Madara stuff, but like the point is they just fought there. It's a cool idea, and then it ends up being a symbol of this Indra Ashura cycle of hatred.
Yeah, honestly, it was just a cool location for their final battle in general.
And then they fight there also because it's like, hey, we had the most important fight of our lives here. We're rematching. Let's go do it there. Because for obvious reasons, like, we're going to fight there. And you can definitely say in Boruto that they'll do that in the sense that when the flash forward scene comes around, Boruto Kawaki will just say the same thing. But we saw that first, so it has the different impression of it. Feels like they're only doing the chapter 78 fight there because of the flash forward scene rather than vice versa. That's the first thing. The second thing is Boruto in this chapter 15 situation is just different. Like, Boruto's just sitting there and Kawaki just shows up for an Did Kashi Koji tell Boruto that was going to happen? Because Boruto didn't go home, did he? Did he?
No.
But why is he expecting this?
Well, I have that written elsewhere as well. That's a whole nother topic. I think that's slightly above. I guess we can just cover that really quick and come back. It's so confusing because the names of the profile picture. I don't know who's where, when, what.
I love it though. That's a different thing.
Where would I have wrote this? Did I write this way up here? There's no way I wrote this long ago. I must have... Okay. Why? Okay, yeah. Why was Boruto sitting on top of Naruto's head? Was he purposefully drawing out Kawaki? Or was he just chilling? Shouldn't he go back with Koji ASAP? He is out of communication with him currently. Is that what Boruto wants? A moment of freedom away from Koji? Was Mello just right?
That's the thing. I mean, we didn't even see Koji's thoughts in this chapter to know what's going on with him, what he's thinking. But yeah, it's just like Boruto escaped and he's just on the head, did he go to Koji and then Koji say, hey, go tell Kawaki to get his limiters off? Did Boruto just do that of his own volition? Did Boruto know he was going to get captured and then escape because of Mitsuki and Shikamaru, and then was going to go on the head and find did he know, or
but
was
at that
he
point,
just
why not
chilling
just go to
Kawaki just happened to
Kawaki?
show up?
Yeah, like what if Kawaki just didn't go to him? Because here's my thing: Boruto has to be suppressing his chakra signature, in which case Kawaki could still sense him. That's fine, but you can still see Boruto. The whole village could see Boruto from where he was. It's like, what if Kawaki just didn't show up? Like, how long was Boruto gonna sit there before he either gave up and went to Kawaki, or the village found him and forced him to retreat?
And I think it's kind of absurd for Boruto to just assume Kawaki's just gonna be like, I have a strong suspicion he'll be on Naruto's head. Because it's not like Naruto Sasuke Battle at the end. Like, there's no reason for him to think that in universe. That's just such a leap in logic for no reason. So the only explanation is he knew about this in advance because of Koji, whether he flew back home, talked to him, then came here, or before he even got arrested, he knew this would happen. Or it's just plot convenience.
It's also weird to do this out in the open. Like, if anything, what should happen here is that Boruto just goes to Kawaki in Ada's house area thing. And even, because again, like, he's just assuming Kawaki's just not going to attack him, I guess, so that he can talk to him. Like, if Kawaki attacked him, the village is notified, because there's an explosion on Naruto's head. So, I feel like the best way to go about this...
You're not going to attack me?
Exactly. The best way to go about this, which would have been really cool. What would have been really cool is if Boruto goes to Kawaki in the house, and that can have been like a cool reveal, surprise thing, almost like Obito going to go check up on Naruto in the 5 Kage Summit when Naruto's having a panic guy. Yeah, it's like, wow, that's cool. And then Kawaki probably would try to attack him, and Boruto's like, oh, you're being too noisy, let's go somewhere else. He like touches Kawaki on the back or shoulder or something, and just flying Raijins him to somewhere else outside of the village. Doesn't matter where. I don't care where. I think that's just a cool idea to talk to him that way.
That definitely would have been cool, but I'm also just like, why was Boruto like egging Kawaki on anyway? Like, regardless if he foresaw it or not, it's like, the future could change. Why is he being like, oh, you're not gonna attack me? Like, what are you doing? Because what if that incites him to it? He's hot-headed. What if he just does attack you and the whole village knows it? Now you can't talk to Kawaki.
That's a good point.
Why is Boruto so stupid?
Because Boruto wanted to talk to Kawaki there, right? Because otherwise, if we take that line at face value, he expected Kawaki to attack him.
And it's like, it's just...
What are you doing then?
It's weird, man. I definitely think, and also just logically, why wouldn't Boruto fly to the house? Because think about it. He already knows Ada's on his side, at least neutral on this. She knows that. He knows Damon is neutral as well. Mitsuki fucking just helped him break out of prison there, so he knows Mitsuki's on his side. Yeah. It's 4v1 here. Like, even if Kawaki wants to fight him, the other 3 will make him stop. And Boruto can just beat him up anyway. Yeah. That's the safest place. No, you have only allies there. No Konohamaru to mess it up. No anyone to mess it. No Nishi. It's just fucking allies. What? Worst case, oh no, Sarada came to take a visit. It's like, it's only good to go. I'm losing my voice. It's only good to go. Okay, I can talk high.
And again,
it's only good if he goes there.
Again, isn't Boruto like desperate here, like on a time crunch? Wasn't he just captured and forced to get out of Koji's hearing range, vision, whatever? He has future sight, I guess, but like he's out of communication. Doesn't he need to go check up on him? Like, he doesn't have future sight. What if Koji died by a Shinju, like it's implied he could have? Like, you have things to do. If not Koji, like, aren't you on a time crunch for the entire world itself? Like, couldn't Jura just do something right now while you're just sitting here waiting for Kawaki when you could go dog? Like, why are you wasting time like Kawaki was for the last 3 years? Aren't you the one that wasn't wasting time because you've been training like hell? You've been using your time wisely? What's happened here? Just sitting there doing nothing. Oh, I got the way to fix this. Okay, Boruto was doing. He was doing the shinobi, like, the meditation or whatever from the Code arc. So there you go. That's your way of fixing that. Okay. But yeah, no, this just doesn't make sense with the Final Valley thing to the head. It's just retrospective nonsense. I thought that was pretty funny. Because again, like, it's obvious, it's clear as day, in universe, whatever, it's clear as day for the story. They're doing it because the audience knows it's important later. That's why they're using that as an iconic landmark over and over. It's not coincidence for the story. In universe, it is. But Ikimoto's obviously doing it because that's just a location. In Naruto, the Final Valley, you could say whatever about later on for the second fight. In the first fight, I don't think Kishimoto had all that planned out, necessarily. Maybe he had, like, the idea for Hashirama, Madara, whatever. I think it was just a grandiose location, rather than just fighting yet again in the forest or whatever, like Shikamaru and Tayuya. Is that where he wanted Naruto and Sasuke's Final Valley battle to be? No, he wants it to be at this cool, wide open waterfall mystical battlefield that feels larger than life, something that just has a purpose to be there. And then Sasuke and Kakashi's making it even bigger as a spectacle than it is anyways. Like, obviously Naruto and Sasuke was the final, it was like the first thing he wanted to do with the series anyway. It's like the first idea he had. He knew how he wanted to end it with Naruto and Sasuke's final fight. Of course that's going to be like the most iconic, memorable location in the series. It's going to be the biggest thing in the series. It's the whole point of the series is what it feels like. It's all leading, it's all building to that anyways. Of course it's going to be this grand battlefield. If anything, it's like the tuning exams. The tuning exams final rounds, that would have felt like a pretty iconic, memorable battlefield than just randomly somewhere random elsewhere that isn't important or anything. Like, that just feels big. So I think that's how I view that.
Yeah, no, bro. Initially I wouldn't have thought this, but based off what I've seen, I'd like to be Sarada, bro. Like, Hidari's the least of our work. Bro, stupid and
That's how you know you're safe.
You just gotta confuse him like Patrick. Just tell him to order a hamburger. He's like,
just give him a jar with a closed lid. That's all you need to
do. Yeah, he'll be busy for ages.
He'll find a new target.
Or no, just
real
ask
quick.
him, "Who are you?" He'll be like, "Who am I? Who am I? Who am I?" He'll just be doing that for like 20 minutes.
Do you think? Okay, this is okay. No jokes here. Completely serious. But this is gonna sound goofy because it's ridiculous. Do you think Sarada, with her intelligence, as it's portrayed in series, outside of the obviousness of she didn't recognize Hidari because that's dumb, but we're not just Sarada is an intelligent IQ character, whatever, and Hidari has been portrayed as, if not intelligent, then at least inexperienced. So, do you think it's possible, or Ikimoto might go in this direction, do you think it's possible, at least hypothetically, that Sarada could genuinely trick Hidari in regards to the target thing? Either by just outsmarting him, tricking him into thinking that he doesn't actually have a target, or that his target isn't Sarada, or that Sarada isn't Sarada, and like, oh, Sarada's over there. Anything like
that one, because he already knows what the target looks like.
Yeah, so this would just be like hypothetically, I guess, going backwards a few chapters. If she just did try this for whatever reason, do you think it could have worked?
No, because he already knew from the get-go when he saw her. He just knew that was.
No,
her,
I know
so.
he knows what she looks like, but what if she's like, "Oh, I'm not Sarada, I'm Florida, her twin sister."
I think in that case, the issue would be Hidari might just say, "Oh, well, then I guess you'll be my target," kind of thing. Because I think the point is, she's the girl he saw in his mind. So regardless of the name, he would just go after her.
I disagree.
So the way she'd have to convince him is like she'd have to convince him that someone else would be better for him or something. Would be the way I'd probably go about it.
Maybe you could argue based on like a dumbness, but I feel like if Jura just saw someone that looked like Naruto, like that one kid that Sasuke saw when Itachi came to the village and Sasuke was trying to like go hotel room to hotel room. If that kid just came back to the village when Jura was there and Jura found him, I think he's not gonna eat him. He's still gonna want Naruto.
Yeah. He's not gonna. Yeah, he's not gonna do anything. So
unless you're gonna argue,
could trick him, to be honest.
Well, I do see your point though, because Jura's smart. Hidari's so, and again, this is me being genuine, not even goofy. I feel like Hidari's so dumb that this might not apply to Hidari, even though it applies to Jura, and he just might go for this version anyways that he thinks isn't Sarada.
He might just, believe. Like they could probably just say that's Naruto and be like, oh, okay, just go after him.
That being said, this also depends on how you think the Shinju work in general, so slightly getting away from Hidari, but I think Hidari's the best because, like, intelligence, I think, it plays a factor. So, like, if Sarada... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, what if, like, hypothetically Sarada knew in advance, because Boruto told her or something? What if, like, Sage Mode Mitsuki, we'll say, so he's already in Sage Mode when he does this, just did the transformation jutsu to look like Sarada?
No, that's what I was going to go to, yeah. I was going to go the opposite route to where what if Sarada did the transformation jutsu to look like anyone else and showed up? So then do you think the Shinju are going based strictly on appearance, or do you think they can, like, tell based on the chakra signature or something? Connective, Ninshu, or yeah, whatever, yeah. Could be tells, connection.
Well, Monster can read minds, apparently. She can see everything, so I don't think it would work on her. Jura was sensing the Nine Tails, unless they can make Nine Tails proper sense, I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can do Jura Monster. Bug can apparently sense Ada or something weird. Unless it was just him, like, speaking hypothetically, oh, I bet you're watching, and he's just pretending. He doesn't actually know she's right in front of him. So I think Jura and Matsuri are not going to be able to get around it. Bug, he might be able to sense through it. Just don't think Hidari can.
I know. I hate to say that. Because I can't tell if Momoshiki is smart or dumb. He feels like sort of both. Or no, actually, no, I think I do know. Momoshiki is smart, but he is willing to not be smart because he's having such a thrill. So it's almost like if Shikamaru was like an adrenaline junkie. Or even like Deidara versus Sasuke. I feel like that's a similar principle.
Yeah. Another way to look at it would be like, I think Momoshiki's smart. He's just carefree, nonchalant, goofy.
Yeah.
Like, he's never being dumb. He's just like a pretty jolly, goofy guy in general. Kind of like Ryu there. Ryu kind of came across as like goofy at first, but then it's like clearly he's smart because he instantly sensed code, which by the way Hidari didn't.
Yeah.
To be honest, even Matsuri didn't. Only Jura seemed just unfazed, like he might have known but didn't care.
Well, I don't want to get in this right now, but I don't think that I don't think Ryu's coming across as goofy, but we get into that another time.
I think it's more so the translation.
I agree.
Like,
yeah.
Like senpai. Like.
Well, in the Raw, I'm pretty sure it's Sama, isn't it?
Oh, interesting.
I think I could be wrong. I haven't seen the Raws. That's just what I heard. In Viz, isn't it Elder? It's Elder Jura.
Oh, Elder, you're right. Yeah,
which is like a respect thing. Jura. Yeah, I don't see that as goofy. But it's like maybe slightly goofy translations, but it's like I don't even think that's really goofy.
It's goofy because they don't use that in Boruto ever. It's just very different. If he says Lord Juro, for example, that doesn't come across as goofy.
Yeah.
Really, by comparison.
I think it's also slightly goofy because not only is Jura not old, he's not much of an elder. He's like a day older than you at most. He's like a day old as it is. But also, for as young as you are and technically a teenager or whatever, your like Shinju design feels adult-y. So that's also slightly funny.
Yeah, especially considering how Ikimoto's time skip Shinki design is so young.
I know.
What happened?
But it could also just be like a Japanese culture thing anyways, to where you would just say that regardless of the situation.
I mean, the other goofiness part of it, though, is, well, first of all, none of the other Shinju talk like that, and second, their trees calling each other like elder, it's so formal that it comes across as goofy just given the situation.
That's fair.
That's why it's goofy.
Whereas they are trees, they're like technically trees, but they're more human-ish.
Well, I don't
how they look like.
I hate that they're so-called trees.
I know.
No, they're.
I know.
About them looks like trees.
Like, it does seem make sense if they came from the Ten Tails, which isn't a tree.
Yeah, like...
Just say they're seeds, if anything.
Like, the way that they describe it is that they've already started evolving into divine trees, but they're not fully evolved. But it's like, okay, then why are they consciousness awakened? I feel like it should have just been... They're just awakened Ten Tails. Like, just remove they're all. Just say they're awakened Ten Tails, and who knows what happens when they become divine trees. Like,
yeah, because like it doesn't make sense for them to start evolving. Like you were saying earlier, it's 2 steps. They haven't completed the first step yet. They're actively working on it.
The argument Boruto's making is that, well, Code's karma has a Suzuki chakra or whatever, so maybe that's what's affecting it. But then it's like, why are they evolving consciousness though? Then, like, why is it both?
But if that's the case, then they shouldn't
one or the other
need to eat an Otsutsuki anyways. Couldn't Jura just absorb all life on the planet right now without absorbing Boruto or Kawaki?
Well, and that's the other thing, because he can just absorb people, like Himawari, that's his plan. So, like, what if he just hypothetically did that one by one to the whole planet?
Have you ever played Kingdom Hearts? I haven't, but apparently the Divine Tree clones are low-key like the Nova.
Of the game.
Yeah, I played it at like a friend's house. I never owned it, so I'm not gonna say I played it. There's like 12 of them, so I only played one of them. A long time ago.
Yeah.
Doesn't count. I was Daffy Duck. Playing with Sky or whatever. On the Divine Tree clones, a Naruto version of the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D Dark Sinus. Okay. That being said, 421. This has not been a short stream. This has been just a normal length stream. I guess slightly short compared to our normal long streams, but you know. Shout out chat.
How long's that movie? I was interested, but
yeah, it's late.
I do have to work tomorrow.
I got work in the morning as well. At this point, I just think I'm gonna skip the movie. Maybe it's tomorrow night or some other night.
Okay. Okay, good that works then, because I was gonna say, like, it's probably for the best if I don't watch it. But if you're not gonna watch it either, that makes it easy.
Okay, cool. Thanks for watching, everyone. That's been 4.5 hours, and over and out.